Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Shaded Youth. As usual, we have an amazing special guest today. We have the one and only Zak Bendif, all the way from the UK. Just a brief bio. I came across Zak Bendif on a frequently mentioned podcast, not frequently mentioned, but I've mentioned it a few times here and there as an inspiration for this show, actually. Freshly Grounded. He was a guest on there. And then after a few months, he actually took up a role in the production of a show there called Current Events, which, alhamdulillah, has been running for a few months now with his good friend, Nadir. So, Zak Bendif, how are you, man?
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. How are you? Firstly, before anything, I'd just like to say, may Allah bless you. Thank you for taking the time to approach me. And well, I'm really honored to be part of this. May Allah bless you, man.
Alhamdulillah, man. Alhamdulillah. So you're based in the UK, right? You've lived there all your life.
Yes, born and raised Londoner, mate.
Gotcha.
Born and raised in London.
Just out of curiosity, what's your like national origin or like your ethnicity?
Background, I am 150% Algerian. My mom's Algerian and my dad's Algerian. And for me, the way I see it is, that's my true identity. That's where
Gotcha.
I think I'm properly from.
Okay. Do you would you say that you're more culturally entwined to that instead of British?
100%, 100%.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I go there every year. Obviously, this year is like Corona year and whatnot, so it's the only year that I didn't really go back because I don't really have family here in the UK. So it's like for me, going back home is where I feel more at peace.
Gotcha,
But yeah,
gotcha. And speaking of just like, getting to know you and your origins, I saw the trailer for, I believe it's the Ramadan edition of the game that First Grounded has,
it's right here.
and you mentioned something exactly free plug right there. So you
Yeah.
mentioned something about your name. Zach is actually not your full name, if I'm correct.
No. So my full name is Abdulrazak. Abdulrazak. A lot of people basically it's like a stage name, the Zach thing, innit?
Yeah,
Where it's like Zak Bendif. That's why everyone knows it by now. But before, um, yeah. So my actual name is Abdulrazak, and that's how I'm born and raised in my passport. And you can see it everywhere.
yeah. I would have guessed like you mentioned in the video. I would have guessed Zakaria. Like I completely the whole time I thought Zach was short for Zakaria.
Yeah, everyone thinks that, man. But I want to know a bit more about you, man. Yeah,
So
for
I brought up that because my name, Shaquille, I don't know if you're familiar with American sports at all or if basketball is huge in the UK, but
I'll be real. A lot of my friends are into basketball, and so is my brother a little bit. But for me, I'm not really a basketball type of guy. Be real.
yeah,
If
so there's a huge basketball legend. He's retired now. His name was Shaquille
Shaquille
O'Neal.
O'Neal, I know Shaquille.
Exactly. Yeah, Shaquille
Yeah,
O'Neal. So his nickname was Big Shaq.
he's a tall one, isn't it? The one that's at
Yeah,
six foot,
he's a
six
really
foot
big
eight.
one. He's a really
How
big
tall is
one.
he?
I don't know, like I think 7 foot something maybe.
Yeah.
So his name is Big Shaq. So
Mhm.
everyone when they first meet me, they just immediately call me Shaq, like all my coworkers, all the people that I know. So I thought that because that was for the first part of my name, I just thought
Yeah.
immediately like Zach was from Zakaria because that's like the first part of the name as well.
I see. Okay. MashaAllah. It's got a bit of a twist to it, mate.
Yeah. So
Where are you
anyway,
from
man,
in America? I'd love to know that. Where are you from in America?
I'm based in New York.
New
So
York, which
yeah,
part? Because this is where it gets a bit. Which part of New York? Are we what? Because I know there's a few districts, right? There's Queens, there's
yeah,
Brooklyn,
they're called boroughs. So
boroughs.
I'm in Brooklyn.
You're in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
so Manhattan by Manhattan Bridge. What's it called? Manhattan Bridge.
N- Not necessarily.
I'll be real.
So I'm
I'm trying to be them people, here in the UK. Yeah, we try to act like we know what like America is about. I have one friend. I'm gonna give him a little shout out as well. I have one friend from Jersey, so New Jersey. It's not really far from where you are right now. And every time I speak to him, I try to act like I know a bit more about like the US and how it is.
I
But
mean, New
yeah,
York
so
is the
you're saying,
capital of the world, so like I guess everyone kind of knows like a little bit about New York somewhere, right?
yeah, the Big Apple.
Exactly, as as it's
Yeah,
known. You're based in London, right?
I am based in London. Yes.
Okay. See, I have to like apologize because I don't know any districts of London. I do have a friend. His name is Hilal. I've had him for a couple episodes, and I think he was in East London. Is that a
Okay.
part?
So we have it different. To be fair, you said you had boroughs in New York,
Yeah,
right?
we have boroughs.
And you had five of them. So I
Yeah.
think it's. Let me try to get it all right, yeah, because I remember there was once a general knowledge quiz, and I got four, and I forgot the last one. So I know it's Brooklyn, Manhattan. Um, what's the one that Brooklyn, Manhattan, Jersey's not one of them.
Jersey's not one of them, no.
Okay, so Brooklyn, Manhattan, um, downtown. No, no. Okay, I failed. What
Well,
are
you got
they?
2 out of 5. So it's
What's the other one?
Brooklyn,
Yeah,
Manhattan, Queens, Staten
Queens.
Island,
That's the third one. Yeah,
Manhattan, Staten Island, and Bronx.
the Bronx. That's
Yeah,
it. That's it. That's the other
yeah.
one. All right, cool.
Funny bit of trivia. The only part of New York that's actually part of like the rest of the country is the
Yeah.
Bronx, because the rest of it is an island.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. I see. Fair enough.
like
Interesting.
I think the UK is just one big island, right?
Yeah. So as a country, the way we are, we're one big island.
Right.
Um, However, obviously, we have cities. So we've got Birmingham,
Yeah.
Manchester, London, Leicester. Um, that's the way we're split up. It's the same thing in America, actually. How you've got different states and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's the same thing here. The thing that you were saying earlier about the London, the way we're built up is like you said, boroughs. So we've got I'm from a borough called Barnet. There's a few in Brent. There's all. That's how we're built up here in London. Then there's east, south, northwest. There's a confusing one. It's hard for you to understand, but it's all right.
Gotcha. No worries. I completely understand. So I do want to ask just a bit more about the way you were raised in London and especially in the UK Muslim
Mhm.
community, because I do know there's like a few bits and differences between like the two cultures of like NYC and then like London, of course. Um, so everyone kind of has that story of like exactly how they became quote unquote practicing, right? uh whatever that may be, right? I don't really know what
Yeah.
practicing means anymore, but obviously taking your Deen seriously,
Mhm.
trying to pray, trying to fast, the 5 pillars, and then do what you can, right? Is Do you have a story like that where in London or wherever you were raised, like where you realize I need to take my Deen seriously?
Yeah. For me, and I think I've spoken about this before and freshly grounded from what I remember. But for me, it was when I was 17. Um, I hit 17 and a close
Uh,
family friend of mine passed away.
oh wow.
And it was my first time ever seeing um like death between my eyes for the first time. So I went to my first janazah ever and I was 17. I was doing so you lot call it you're 17, 18.
I believe you
Would you
cut out
yeah,
for
can
a
you hear me?
second.
Can
Yeah,
you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you now. I can hear you now.
Yeah, I said what do you guys call like exams that you do in like when you're like 17, 18?
So to get into like college or university?
No, to get into like before college. Before
Okay.
university. What's before university?
Yeah, so college and university like is the same thing for us.
Yeah,
So
so what's
we
before
we call it
university?
the SATs. And you take that when you're
Okay,
like 16, 17.
that's it. So that's the same thing with us. So when I was 17, I was doing them at that time. And my yeah, so my dad's friend passed away, and it was my first time ever going to and this friend, when I say it was like family, and I remember going to the first janazah ever and seeing the man being buried in front of me for the first time, and it just struck me, and I was just like, it just brings you like a different meaning to what life really is, and you just like to yourself, I'm gonna be that one day, and you start picturing it, and you can't get that out of your mind. That's the only thing you're thinking about. Um, and yeah, so that's the thing that like propelled me to start learning more about the Deen. Because obviously I was born Muslim, alhamdulillah, but it's different from being born into a religion and finding it yourself.
Sorry, I cut out
Did
again.
you get
You
that
said
part?
it's
Did
different.
you get that
Yeah.
part?
No,
I
you
said
said it's
it's
different
different.
from.
It's different from being born into religion and finding it yourself. So I feel like there's two different times of your life. There's the first time of your life where it's like you obviously are born into Islam, and then the second time of your life is when when you find it yourself and when you properly fall in love with Allah.
Definitely, bro. I can definitely think of the first time or the first instance, at least when I actually like consciously thought, um I should make an effort. It wasn't anything. It wasn't like a life event really. It was like something pretty simple actually. So I think I was around like 13. And the way it's broken up in the US is like elementary school is 5 years, middle school is 3 years, and then high school is 4 years. So
Hmm.
in the last year of middle school, it's eighth grade. I was like in the library, I was really into like anime and cartoons and stuff. So I was watching like something on one of the laptops that are just available, right?
What animes you like?
Okay, so you see in the back right there,
That's
you
Dragon Ball Z,
recognize
right?
that?
That's
Yeah, it's Dragon
Ball
Ball
Z. The
Z.
Goku. That's
Yeah, it's
Goku, right?
Goku, exactly.
Yeah.
So I grew up on that. I grew up on, like Naruto, like classics, of course.
Yeah, my
So I was,
brother's
I
a
was
bit of a
watching
Naruto fan.
your brother.
Yeah, he's a bit of a Naruto fan.
Oh man, how old is your brother?
He's 19 now. He's getting a bit older, mate.
Gotcha. I mean, I'm only like a year older. I'm 20. So I think like
Oh,
everyone
mashallah,
around
you're
that
young, man.
age.
I thought you were older than that.
How old are you?
I'm 21. I thought you were older than 20s. SubhanAllah, I thought you were around, a bit older than me. That's crazy. What are you doing?
Really?
What do you do? Sorry, I know we've digressed, but I'd like to
No,
know
no,
what
it's
you do.
completely fine. I love this.
Yeah,
So currently I'm in college or university, as you guys say, or
yeah.
uni. I'm in my
Uni.
third year, right?
Yeah,
Uni. I'm in my third
yeah.
year. I'm
Wait,
pursuing nursing as a degree.
okay, mashallah.
Yeah,
Rewarding job, very rewarding job.
definitely. And on the
Mashallah.
weekends I work at an urgent care. I don't know if you guys have those over there, but so it's like different from an emergency room or
Okay.
A&E, I think is what you guys call it.
A&E, yeah,
So
that's what we
that's
call it, yeah.
so this is like a less severe version of that. Like urgent care is basically like when you need like an urgent thing. Like let's say you come
Yeah.
across with a cold, a fever, you can't go to your like
So what we
general
call that,
practitioner, so you go there.
yeah. So you lot have a GP as well. We have a GP. That's what I was gonna say. I
Yeah,
thought it
so
was a bit
that's
like a
that's
GP.
different. So this is like a one-stop shop kind of thing. Like you go there for COVID tests if you need a vaccine, if you need like your physical filled out and you can't go to your primary doctor, then you just go there
Okay.
instead.
But you don't. But you're not. So are you qualified to do that?
Yeah, so I'm not like a doctor or anything.
Yeah.
I'm like what we call a medical assistant. So I do like the vital signs, like the blood pressure, temperature, that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I got a
And then
friend that's.
yeah, so I
Yeah,
give
I got a
shots as
friend
well
here.
and stuff like that.
I got a friend here that does similar things, and they do like they work in an old people's home.
Yeah.
And like do around the safety, so checking blood, feeding, and stuff like that. Interesting. All right, mashallah. But that's a very rewarding job, man. May Allah bless you.
Yeah, it's a very like diverse field. Like I think people just think like there's doctor and nurse and that's it, but there's like so many other
Yeah.
like careers that can be part of it. Um, what was I saying before? All right, so the story pretty much was like I was watching like some kind of anime, and then a friend of mine, which I haven't seen in a while, but I truly think that any good deed I've done so far has been a result of just that one action that he did. So he pretty much showed me like you're familiar with the Merciful Servant on YouTube?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like very big with all those like inspirational, with the nasheed in the background.
Yeah.
So right,
Ah.
exactly, the classic one.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
knows it.
Yeah.
So he showed me like one of those videos, and it was like it was a short film on Fajr, and it was
Yeah.
about the three knots, right? The three knots of shaitan, and how you can untie each of those knots. Once when you wake up, once when you do wudu, and then once when you actually pray.
Mhm.
Um, and like the short film was basically like it shows like kind of this creature, kind of signifying like shaitan, I guess, or the devil or whatever. And it was produced really well. So when I first watched that, I was like afraid, right? Because I was like 13 at the time. It was pretty well produced,
Oh,
and
you're
I was like, oh
13.
man, yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
so I was watching that. And I was like, oh man, like someone took so much effort to like show this aspect of the deen that's like really important. Whereas before, I was kind of just told stuff, right? You're kind of just told to pray, told to do that, told to do this. Whereas like if you see someone actually make an effort to like be creative and
Yeah.
showcase something in a creative way, that's kind of
Yes.
like what touched me really. Not really
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
message itself, but more of
So,
like the production of it.
so an Islamic reminder got you to practice.
Pretty much, right? But then it was more after that was like the first step, right? And then when I got into high school, like I made a bunch of friends that alhamdulillah were really practicing. And then I made this. I made a very close friend in the neighborhood. And then that got me closer to our community masjid. So it was like that was the first step, but then inshallah, like as you do more and more, and then more things get you closer to Allah and to the
Yeah.
masjid, and to people that are like that as well. So you said you're 21, right?
21 years of age, my friend.
That's only oh man, I thought you were older, honestly. I thought you
Nah,
were so
nah,
much older.
nah. I'm only 21, man. Nah.
Subhanallah.
To be fair, I get the opposite, mate. I got a lot of people say I look younger, so I don't know how it is. Does it look? Am I older? Am I younger? I don't know what it is, mate.
Forgive me for asking, but is it because of the beard
The
situation?
lack of a beard
I understand
situation.
that so. I
You know what it
understand
is.
it so perfectly.
If you can make fun out of it, then it's all right. If you can't make fun out of it and you can't laugh about it, then that's where insecurities come. So I feel as though, look, you see right here, it's a
Hmm.
bit challenging. So if any companies want to try and help me with this situation, do let me
Oh
know.
man, subhanallah. No, trust me, man. I've
Now,
had
Jack,
that.
I've started using this beard oil now, innit? Um, I like this micro. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's this micro thing that like cuts into your skin and then like lets the beard oil absorb into your skin follicles, and then apparently it helps it grow. Allah, I don't know if it'll work or not, but we'll see.
How long have you been doing it?
About a week now,
About a week. Is it supposed to show results like that fast, or do
few
you have to do
months,
it a
nah,
bit
few
more?
months.
Few
Let's do a
months.
few months.
Oh, subhanallah. I might get on that because I haven't done any products or anything so far.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Bangladesh, so
You'll have your beard coming soon, brother. Don't worry about
yeah.
it.
I don't know about that. I feel like my family has bad genes because my dad doesn't really have a beard.
Oh, it does have a beard.
It always grows kind of patchy. And he really doesn't like how it looks. And then like other people in my family, they kind of have tough times growing beards. Uh, yeah, I've
It's
never been a
fine, man.
hairy person, so it's just been like that. So it's really just been like that.
No, mashallah. Look, you look amazing just where you are, my brother.
You too, man. You too, alhamdulillah. And I love the hoodie you have. Like,
The
what does
hoodie.
it say on there?
It says El Mustaqbal, so it's future, and
Future.
it's made by Future Studios, which is actually a brand of my brother's,
Oh
and
wow.
I printed on Champion hoodies.
Okay, that's subhanallah. Where can you find that?
You can find that on underscore Future Studios.
Another free plug right
No,
there.
no, sorry, Future Studios underscore on Instagram.
Gotcha, gotcha. I've
Yeah.
always kind of wanted to start something like that, like a clothing brand of some sort. Um, but it always seemed really difficult, like just starting something like that with all the inventory and stuff. Like
It's
how does
just
your brother do it?
it just depends on your passion in it. So, for example, the way my brother does it is literally everything from home.
Mm,
So you got the hoodie, you got the packaging, you got the ordered everything. Everything's in our room. My room is a mess right now, if I'm honest. It's literally like boxes upon boxes. But put them together, add a few labels here and there, and it's packaged. It's not the hardest job in the world. But obviously takes out a lot. It takes a lot of space.
oh man, subhanallah. Well, what do you do full time? Are you a student?
Yes, I study politics and international relations.
Oh wow. What career would that land you in the UK?
Well, if I knew the answer, I would let you know, but I don't know. Right now, I don't know. Right now, I don't know. But where would that land me? What I want to do and what I might get is two different things. What I want to go into is carry on doing what I'm already doing, and that's media work, man, full time.
Mm,
That's what I'd love to do. But how long would that take for me to get there? Allahu alam.
subhanallah. Because over here we have like that's also a degree over here. So a lot of people go into journalism through that, like politics and international relations. Is that something you're interested in?
Digital media, yeah. So it feels like
Okay.
yeah, 100%. But journalism, I couldn't be a journalist as a writer. I'd have to be a journalist in front of the screen. That's the way for myself, like in front of the camera, not behind it. Do you
So
understand what
like
I'm
a
saying?
TV news reporter
Yeah,
or presenter. Okay.
presenter of any sort. I love that type of vibe. I love interacting with viewers. I love that is my passion. But if you were to tell me to be a writer, mate, I couldn't sit here and write for that long. I'd get bored after a bit.
So where did that passion start? Like being in front of a screen and presenting.
That's a good question. since I was young, since I was very very young. So since I was about in like, so we call it year five, year six. Um, I've always wanted to go for like the star role in like the school plays, and like whenever there was any opportunity to stand in front of the class and read a book, I always wanted to be the first one there to like stand in front of the class and read and present and whatever. I feel like that's where it properly started. I, I, it's a bad thing to say. I think it comes from trying to gain attention from peers and trying to make them laugh. Always since I was young. Like for example, one big memory, that one of the craziest memory that I think of is like back in like when I was in like 15, 16, and we call it our GCSEs, which is our like exams for 15s and 16s.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we were studying a book, and that book I read it from start to finish in the class. I was the only one that every time the teacher would ask who wants to read it, my hands were always up like that because all I wanted to do was do it in different accents and read and whatnot. And yeah, so since then, she loved it. And obviously,
Gotcha.
the more I got into like public speaking, the more I've enjoyed it. And but it comes with its problems. I can't lie, it does come with its problems, but it's very rewarding with how you feel.
What do you think the problems are that come with it?
Um, there's quite a few. You start battling with your inner self, your nefs, a
Mm,
lot more. Your intentions start flailing is the word I'm looking for. It's a lot more challenging than people think it is. It's not just turn on the camera, switch on the camera, speak to a camera, and bam. It's more like, especially if you're doing it for a reason where there's like Islamic benefits behind it or whatever, it's a lot more challenging because then you're thinking about your intentions and whatnot. I'd say, yeah, it makes you think about your intentions a lot more. And obviously, there's that other edge of the coin where it's like ain and hesed of other people and stuff like that, and it does play in your mind because you're like, if I'm putting myself out there, it means that I'm putting myself up there for public scrutiny, and the public scrutiny isn't going to be always positive.
definitely, man. SubhanAllah. So, would you say you've always been an extroverted person?
Yeah, 100%,
Okay.
100%. Since I was so young,
Okay.
always don't stop talking. You know, one thing, yeah. Since I was young, and my parents will tell you this as well. If I was to go to like, they would go to like our parents' evenings. Yeah, they'd be the first thing they'd hear is, afraid Zach's is a chatterbox. Yeah, he doesn't stop talking. His peers, he just looks at them from left and right, and all he does is talk to them. To be fair, he gets everyone in trouble because they start talking as well. And that's just how it is. Since I was young, I don't know.
Oh man, SubhanAllah. So I was I'm kind of a mix, right? So when I was really young, I would always get in trouble for
Mhm.
for the exact same thing you're talking about, like just constantly like saying nonsense a lot of the time. Like my kindergarten
Yeah,
teacher would complain to my parents, and then she would say Shakil's always like causing a mess, bothering other kids. And this is like
yeah.
all the way until like elementary school. And then middle school, like something happened, I don't know what, and then it just flipped the switch. I got really quiet. I got super introverted. And then I guess towards the end of high school, I kind of found that balance between the two. So I'd say I'm more like a mix now.
Now you're
Yeah,
in extrovert,
an extrovert,
in
right?
extrovert.
So
That's
I have a,
banging.
I have a funny story of like what you just said of like kind of trying
Yeah,
to be the class clown or like trying to make others laugh or at least doing something silly, right? So uh I had a class in 10th grade, and I think this was like more of when I was trying to like experiment with like being a bit more extroverted and stuff like that. So our world history teacher, he on the first day of class, he was like, on this sheet of paper, he passed our sheet of paper, all the like simple stuff like, what do you want me, like, what's your name, what do you want me to call you, if you do have like a nickname or anything like that. And he made the mistake of saying, and you know what, I'll literally call you anything you want. Like I had someone in previous years, and he named like a bunch of silly examples, and he said I literally called that person this name for that whole year. So on this sheet of paper, I turned to my friend. I'm like, "Yo, wouldn't it be funny if like he just called me the Falcon for the whole year?"
yeah.
Right. This is something completely random. I don't know how I thought of that. So on a sheet of paper, I wrote the Falcon, and then for the whole year, he just called me the Falcon. and this is a class I participate in a lot because I actually personally love history. So every time he'd call on me, he always called me the Falcon. And another kid in the class, I shared another class with him. I
Bro,
shared
I
chemistry
don't
with him.
get it. Why that though?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I just literally
Okay,
just said the Falcon, and he just
okay.
called me the Falcon the whole year. He never learned my actual name. And the thing was, I was like one of his favorite students too. So I would see him
Yeah,
in the
that's
hallways, and he'd say,
strange.
"Hey,
That's really
Falcon."
strange because it's got nothing to do with
Yeah,
your name.
it literally does not. Like I think I liked birds at the time, maybe, or like falcons and stuff. But that was yeah, that
SubhanAllah.
was really it. And there was another kid in the class. I shared chemistry with him, and then like a week later, he's like, Shaquille, your name's not the Falcon, because in that class they would actually call me by my name.
Yeah,
So like, what was the point of doing that? So yeah, subhanAllah, like the stuff we do when we're young just to like get
yeah,
attention,
yeah.
I could definitely feel, man.
SubhanAllah. It's true though, isn't it? Where you get to know a lot more about your personality when you're younger. Actually, and
Yeah,
the more you grow, you start seeing who you really are. SubhanAllah.
definitely,
But
definitely.
I feel like that's
So
the beauty of life as well, isn't it? The you obviously have the determinism thing, and you also have free will that Allah has given us in the sense that you develop your character how you want it to be.
of course, man. I'm surprised you mentioned determinism because that's like I think that's the philosophy
But so
term for
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
determinism and free will. It's
right.
part like in politics, in psychology,
Yeah,
so I study sociology as well in A level. So all these terms are like interlinked.
yeah. I took 2 semesters of philosophy last year, and when we got to the unit on or the topic of determinism, I was literally like, this is just qadr.
Yeah, yeah,
This is literally just qadr, but
yeah,
a bit more
yeah.
complex.
And all they do is put a label on it and then try to and then we're the people with the problem. But yeah, I'm not gonna cross
Yeah,
that bridge.
yeah. Subhanallah. I imagine with because politics and international relations, I imagine that's like a very humanities based degree, right?
Yeah,
Like
they
with a
call it a
bunch of
social
English.
science. They call it a social science now.
Right.
So
Okay.
apparently we're cool people now. It's not a bachelor's of arts. We're a bachelor's of science. Right?
Gotcha. 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 Okay.
That's apparently what they call us now here.
That's
Um,
subhanallah.
all it is difference is you're just looking at words for half the year and then just add two numbers, and you put it on the chart and apparently that's what makes it a science.
Gotcha. Do you take a lot of statistics classes?
Nah, I have one.
Okay.
It's just a quantitative module. That's it.
Okay. Gotcha. Honestly, I was a bit in between going into that route, not the politics route, but more of like a history route because I always loved history. And then I also really like healthcare, so I was really battling between those two in high school,
You, you
and
chose the
then
right choice, mate. You chose
I
the right
don't
choice.
inshallah I did right, but I chose healthcare for a few reasons. One, my parents would be more accepting, but also I like it anyway, so I was like, it's not really a loss at the end of the day. But did you
No,
have that kind of
you're helping people as well. That's the main thing.
definitely
There's a
inshallah
purpose for you to be a. Do you understand that? And that's the main thing. Not only are you working, but you're also being rewarded for the work that you do for other people. And that
inshallah
is one thing you should be proud of yourself for, man.
definitely
Shakil.
inshallah. Yeah, alhamdulillah. I mean, it's a lot easier, I think, to have a straight intention with that kind of thing, just
Yeah,
because eh, I don't know what to really call it, but it's very humiliating for a lack of word, right? Because you're serving people a lot of the time that aren't really grateful. So like so, there's a lot of patients that will straight up ruin your day, and
yeah.
so it's kind of just like I'm not really getting anything out of this, so I pretty much have to do this for the sake of Allah and for the sake of like actually trying to help people. And then there, of course, there are those patients that actually like do make your day with a thank you or something like that. And
That's crazy,
you
subhanAllah. You
yeah,
know, that's the same conversation I had with my friend. They said the exact same thing. They said
really,
they go through yeah the person that's also they call themselves healthcare assistants here, and it's the exact same thing where it's like there's a lack of. But to be fair, majority of the patients that come to you probably don't even know how they're feeling themselves.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
hmm
And obviously, as humans, we're also like very selfish in the sense that if somebody tries to make you feel a certain type of way, you're just instantly gonna think you're in the wrong, I'm in the right. But in reality, yeah, you're right. It's been about self. Just being about self. I can't even speak properly. It's just about being selfless. And nah, well, may Allah bless you because the work you're doing is
I mean, man.
amazing, man.
I mean, yeah, alhamdulillah. There's people that are obviously like in the healthcare field, because it's so vast and diverse, you're obviously like, there are the people that are directly handling like COVID patients, severe cases. And then I'm a bit more lucky. It's an urgent care, so people aren't really coming with like so severe things. They're coming for like colds, maybe some COVID symptoms. We do a lot of COVID tests, and then inshallah we do get the, like, our location hasn't gotten the vaccine yet, but obviously a lot of people in New
Yeah.
York are getting vaccinated, so inshallah we'll get that vaccine to be administered. So we're doing a lot of like basic level stuff, but you know,
What's been
but
offered there in America? What vaccines been offered?
I think I think most of them, if not all of them, like definitely Pfizer, Moderna.
Pfizer's American, right?
Yeah, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson Johnson. I think like a couple other companies. I'm not too sure,
Have
but those
they?
are the big three right now.
Yeah, but are they using the Oxford AstraZeneca one?
I'm not sure, honestly. I haven't really looked into it.
Do you know what it is? I've never been into healthcare or anything like that. The minute the pandemic's come, and I'm just like, yep, here we go. We need to learn about this. We need to learn about that.
I mean, your job makes it easier, right? Current events, so you kind of just have to like look
Yeah,
into
man.
that.
I love it, man. Honestly, current events every Tuesday. I love it. I love it. I don't know why I'm talking
Yeah,
so much, but yeah, I love it.
yeah. I was gonna ask, did you ever have that a kind of conflict of like figuring out what you wanted to do?
What do you mean?
Like, so I had that kind of conflict between like history and then healthcare, and then honestly it was a few others. Like, I was very confused in high school. Like, I really
Yeah,
didn't know what to do at all. Did you kind of have that thing as well, or like
yeah.
just
So
trying
for
to
me, it was
decide? Yeah.
between yeah, for me, it was between politics and international relations and law. I was meant to go down the
Mm,
route of law because I studied
okay.
that in A levels and I enjoyed it so much. But then I realized if I go down that route, it's gonna be a heavy route, mate.
So over here, if you go to law school, that's after university, so that's like another 4 years. So I think that's like
Yeah, it's too long, man.
7 or 8 years
It's too
total.
long.
Is that
Yeah.
the same thing over there?
No, so you do a 3 year law degree, then
Mm-hmm.
we it's basically you go through law school, but it's like a year or 2 years where you train to be a solicitor. So here it's different. It's not like there where you become a lawyer. We're split into two. So you're either a solicitor or you're a barrister. A barrister is somebody that goes to court. A solicitor is someone who deals with the cases, files paperwork, everything before actually going to court itself. Obviously, the barristers in the UK are on a higher salary than solicitors. However, they're on different hours and whatnot. But it's literally just 3 year degree, then you train. So it's about about 6 years.
Okay, gotcha. What made you not? So you said it's too long. I can kind
That's not
of.
the real reason. That's not the real
Okay,
reason.
okay, gotcha. Is it a personal reason
No,
that
no, no,
you don't want to
no,
share?
no.
Okay,
It's not a personal
okay,
reason.
gotcha.
The real reason behind it is because one of two things. I know if I went down that route, I'd enjoy it because I've always been like a problem solver. I enjoy it's a weird thing to say, but crime. I've always I've always been interested in looking at crime.
You know
And
what's
like
so
even
funny?
yeah,
Both of the freshman 100 hosts have a crime degree, or have an interest in crime, right? Because Faisal also has a criminology degree, right? Something
criminology
like that.
degree, yeah.
Yeah. So
At
I don't
Cardiff.
know what
Why?
it
Who's
is.
the other one? Who's the other one?
No, Faisal and you. That's what I'm
Oh
saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. He's a criminology degree. And yeah, that's true, subhanAllah. Yeah, I forgot
You
about
guys
that.
never figured that coincidence out?
No, we've done you know what? His degree and my degree are quite similar, in it. And plus I studied sociology. So
Okay.
I think he did criminology with sociology. So it's a similar-ish degree. Um but yeah, Fraser's a beautiful man, amazing person.
Of
Amazing
course,
person.
man. But you're saying that you were interested in crime, but
Yeah,
then
so I was interested in crime, yeah, um, and problem solving. And I realized I know 100% what this is gonna do is if I go down the criminal law path, it's gonna infringe with my beliefs,
oh,
hundred
okay,
percent.
okay, gotcha.
And then I just thought to myself, yeah, nah. Anything that does
Yeah,
that,
man,
make me
somehow.
depressed, as Allah says. So I'm not on it.
Gotcha. So the main thing for me, like you said, so you said law school was long, but the actual reason was for your beliefs. So I
Yeah.
initially really wanted to go to med school. That was like,
Oh really?
yeah, that was the main thing. Obviously, I'm brown, right? So I have to go to med
No, no,
school. I'm
no.
a disappointment. So,
I wasn't gonna make that assumption.
so my family was really pushing it. And then I realized it's long, right? As you said,
Yeah.
it's
Seven
long.
years. 7 years now. How long is it
It's
there?
8 years. It's 8 years, and then
أعوذ
yeah,
بالله.
it's 8 years, and then 3 to 5 years of something called residency. So that's kind of like your training period. You obviously you get paid, but with really bad hours, and it's not anywhere near how much you should be making. So that's like a good 11 years of training, right? Training or education. I was like, that's too long. That's so long, subhanAllah. Um, so I was the main reason for why I didn't want to go through that route was because of just like I have a bunch of interests that are outside of just school and like medicine and just that like obviously I'm into healthcare, but then I like doing this. I want to like start some kind of business somewhere down the line, um, and obviously I want to start a family. A lot of young people underestimate
Yeah.
that so much. I think these days, I feel like they're too focused in their career and then they get depressed because they start a family so late down the line and then they're just by themselves. And subhanAllah, like obviously people are very passionate and alhamdulillah, that's something that's very fulfilling as well. But I think family life is something that's very underestimated, man. And that's
Yeah,
something like
I was
super
having that
underestimated.
conversation just now with a friend of mine actually, subhanAllah. He's 26. And I was just talking to him about it just now, subhanAllah. He was saying how he's basically explored the world and whatnot, and now he's alone. And he's thinking to himself, he's like, you know what? There comes a time, and there comes a time where you need. This is so cheesy to say. Wow. There comes a time when you need a partner to share your life with, innit? And yeah, he would say that to me, and I was like, right, you know what? If that's coming from you, that has to be powerful, subhanAllah. I never thought that come out of your mouth. And then it just reminded me of something one of my teachers said, and he said he, he was dropping a gem in it. Usted Jamal, I don't know if you've heard of it.
I've heard of him. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
uh he,
Usted,
he's a qari,
bro.
right?
Yeah, he he's an Usted.
Okay.
He's a person of knowledge
You're right, of course.
here in the
But
UK.
yeah, but he's known for his Quran, right? Am
Yeah,
I mistaken? Okay.
His Quran is one of the best in London, if not the best in London. And he was having a conversation. I was having a lesson with him. He was saying something. He was saying that a man's best friend in this world is a woman, and a woman's best friend in this world is a man. And you only realize it when it comes to the time. It's just how it is, mate. We think
SubhanAllah.
we've got life figured out until it comes and slaps us in our face.
Yeah, man. SubhanAllah. A good friend of mine, he just got married like last week, and he's like the first of our masjid youth group to really go.
Yeah, he's the
How we
first
made
one. First one to hang up the boots.
yeah. Yeah, he's the first one, right? He's 25. Um we made a joke because like for it's been I think like 5 days since then,
Yeah,
and I kid you not, he has not mentioned he has not said one word in the group chat since then. And we
yeah,
were
he's
like,
locked up.
dang it, we
Khalas.
lost one. We lost another one.
Yeah, he's locked up. He's locked up.
SubhanAllah.
Khalas. The minute the brothers get married,
Alas, man.
you don't hear from them. That's it.
Of course, man.
I think I'll be different, but but yeah, you're not hearing from the man. That's it. They're gone.
Yes, subhanAllah. Do you have an age for when you think you would start looking or start to go down that route, or are you actually even doing that?
Do I have an age
Yeah.
in terms of when I want to? Yeah, I do have an age. Well, as soon as possible. Mate. No I'm joking, but no, no. But I don't know what I've been there. What Qadar of Allah in it. Whenever it's written, it's written. Um, yeah, you can easily like try and plan things in it, but Allah is the best to plan.
Yeah.
Allah in a minute. When the time is right, the time is right, and when the person's right, the time will be right.
Of course, man. Inshallah. Um, so I did want to ask, just because over here it's nearing Maghrib time. So I do just kind of want to do some quick fire questions for you.
Sure.
Um, so obviously Ramadan is right around the corner. It's literally like in a few days. Uh, do you have any Do you have like a plan for Ramadan? Like, do you have like a checklist for any goals that you have for the month? You have like a daily planner or maybe a weekly checklist?
For me, I know one thing is be as consistent with the Quran as possible. Oh, I think I lost the other camera, mate.
One second.
Shakil Shake. So we're back again.
We're
But
back.
yeah, as I say, yeah, be as consistent with the Quran as possible, and try to build a relationship with the Quran. Because Ramadan's ago, that's what I started to to create a bond with the Quran. And I feel like because of COVID last year and whatnot, it's just been a bit down. So I'd say that is the main one for me. And yeah, just perfecting my character. I think the main thing is perfecting character and feel at peace again.
Definitely, inshallah.
But yeah.
I would say that so last Ramadan for us, like everything was shut down in New York. The masjids were closed. Uh, you couldn't leave your house because it was locked down, right?
Yeah.
I think the UK might have been in some situation. Maybe they
Yeah, it's
got out. Okay,
complete lockdown. Complete lockdown.
is it still or was it just like that last year?
Complete lockdown.
Still.
Yeah.
Oh man, so no tarawih this year.
No. Oh, this year. No,
Okay,
I
okay,
no, no. This year is completely different. This year there will
okay,
be
okay,
Tarawih. There will be complete. There will be Tarawih. In the majority of masajid, but at their own discretion. So whether or not they wanna, it's gonna be just havoc. Allah Alam how it's gonna
okay.
be in it. Obviously there's never been a Tarawih system in COVID, so we don't know how it's gonna be.
Right.
Some messages are doing it through raffles. Some people are doing it through ticketing system. Some people one by one, as in first come first serve. It just depends, innit? We'll just have to see, inshallah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So subhanallah, last year, everything was shut down. No tarawih. My family, we did tarawih in our home. And we have like some tenants, so they joined in as well.
Oh wow,
And
mashallah.
honestly, man, I feel like the last Ramadan, like I was really not looking forward to it. Just because like we were home and I was like I can't even see like my friends and after Tarawih, like how it goes like with the boys, you kind of just go to some random spots sometimes with Tarawih,
Yeah,
like after Tarawih, and then you get those
yeah,
vibes going, like
yeah.
subhanallah, right? And
It
then
just felt weird. It just felt weird.
it felt really weird, right? But then
Yeah,
at the end of the month, I could honestly say that was one of the most fruitful Ramadans I've had in a while. Just because you're alone, like so much of the day, you really like you have no excuse then. Like you're alone,
yeah.
you can't go
So,
outside. Or like what like I have to do something, so you kind of just busy yourself with remembrance of Allah or like Quran or something like that.
so
Um,
I feel like
did you have that experience?
I feel like everyone reacted to it differently. I'm an extrovert, so for
Okay,
me, being at home just makes my mood even lower.
okay,
Um, so for me, it did affect me quite a lot. But alhamdulillah, like they say, every Ramadan you take something from it, and
definitely,
I take something for it. But I'd say the main thing as possible is be as grateful as possible in terms of what Allah has given us pre-COVID and what Allah has given us now. So
definitely,
in both senses. So now it's giving us a time to reflect on what we had, and when it's post-COVID, inshallah, it's gonna be we're gonna really know what we had and properly cherish it, inshallah.
definitely,
Um,
inshallah.
but yeah,
So I noticed on your Instagram the stories you post a lot about your daily runs.
yeah.
Are you gonna continue that in Ramadan?
Nah, so I've just finished a challenge which was
Okay.
27 miles in 27 days. For a charity here called the Mind Charity, and that was to raise awareness for university students' mental health. So people who
Mm,
are going through mental health conditions during university, so university students who've been going through mental health conditions, that was literally just to raise awareness for them. And try to do something where it helped me as well, in the sense that for me, running is my way out. Um, when I'm in a low place and I go for a run, I feel as though it releases the endorphins that makes me feel better. So it was just for me to try and get that feeling again. Have a reason to
definitely.
run.
Okay. Do you run every day, or was it
Now,
just that for
nah,
that challenge?
that period was near enough every day or every other day. Right now I've slacked a bit, but about 2 to 3 times a week it feels like that. But I play a lot of football.
Okay.
Soccer, you guys call it.
Yeah, it's
So it's like
soccer over here.
whenever I'm playing football, I get the same buzz. So it's all good.
Okay.
But if I'm not doing
Okay,
anything
gotcha.
physical, if I'm not doing anything physical, it feels like it's not nice.
Yeah, definitely. You need that weekly activity at least.
Yeah.
So I tried running like on a consistent basis a few months ago, but then it got really cold over here, and then I just completely stopped, and so I haven't really gotten back into it. But like
Yeah.
this, like what you said, like running, it really does clear your mind after a while. Like after, if you just keep doing it, it really gets those endorphins running, and you
You get a
you get
runner's
that.
high. That's what
Yeah,
they call
that's what
it.
it's called.
You get a runner's
Exactly.
high.
Yeah.
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 And it properly it makes you feel better as well. You get the feel good factor.
Definitely, man. Definitely. So it is like on the cusp of Maghrib. I can almost hear the adhan playing from the masjid nearby.
Yeah.
But do you have any parting words for us? Any last words of advice? Any anything you want to add?
I'd just like to say one thing: keep going. Just keep going, Shaquille. And I'm telling you, the future is bright. You will be the new face of the Muslim scene there in America, bidnillah. Um,
Inshallah.
but may
Inshallah.
Allah keep you sincere, and may Allah keep your intentions sincere, and may Allah help you grow in the level that you want to grow to. I mean,
I mean,
thank you so much for having me on. It is midnight here. It's 12:30. Um,
subhanallah. I didn't know
um,
that. Oh man.
no, it is 12:30.
My
But yeah, may
apologies,
Allah. No,
man.
no, no. Wallah, may Allah bless you. Thank you so much. Honestly, I wasn't gonna sleep anyway, innit? I don't really sleep like that.
Okay,
Um, but yeah, Jazakallah khair for having me.
of course, man. Just out of curiosity, when is Fajr over there?
5:15, 5:20.
Okay, I thought it'd be a lot earlier because that's around the same time as us. So
No,
I thought it'd be a lot earlier.
we've gone. So it used to be four. So it used to be an hour before,
Yeah.
but our hour gets. So we move an hour forward every 28th of March.
Okay, we did it earlier, so it was
Yeah,
like the first week of March. But yeah, nonetheless, man, jazakallah khair for being on the episode. May Allah reward you. May Allah put
may
so much
Allah
barakah
bless you.
and current events and any digital media you have going on in the future, inshallah.
Ameen ajma'in.
May Allah reward your brother's clothing line and any other
Ameen.
endeavors your family has going on. And
Ameen
may
ajma'in.
Allah allow us to live until Ramadan and allow us to have the best Ramadan yet, inshallah.
Ameen ajma'in. Jazakallah
سبحانك
khair,
اللهم
Marwan.
of course man سبحانك اللهم بحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله
Assalam
وبركاته
wa rahmatullahi